Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2024. Of course, I'm with Originator Success here with your daily rate mortgage update, the only place on the web where you guys can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and on YouTube. Coming to you this morning from the hotel room in Pittsburgh. And you'll notice I don't have my hat. It's in the car, and I didn't feel like going out and getting it. Yeah. So you're seeing me. I should probably go like this, right? You're seeing me hatless. Hatless in Seattle, hatless in Pittsburgh. Anyway, if you're watching live, say good morning. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to go ahead and give me a hashtag replay in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to smash that like button. Maybe think about tagging an LO friend. Click the little share button. Share this in one of those Facebook groups where other mortgage people are hanging out. If you're on YouTube, please do me a favor. Make sure you click that thumbs up thing that are on there. If you're on your phone, I know you got to search around for it. Leave a comment. Hashtag replay would be great. Maybe answer the question of the day. And, of course, subscribe. So let's see. Good morning, Mr. Siegel. National Iced Tea Day. Straight or sweet? Well, because we're not doing sweat, Mr. Siegel. No sweat on it this morning. So today is National Iced Tea Day. So that is, of course, going to be our question of the day since Ron Siegel. So question of the day. Let's put this on here. National Iced Tea Day. Do you do sweet or unsweet? Believe it or not, I'm an unsweet guy. I am an unsweet kind of iced tea guy. So good morning, Tim Klyla. Good morning, Megan Lindberg. Good morning, Michael Love. Mike Morano. Hope married life is treating you well, Mr. Morano. Hope that lovely bride of yours still loves you after all these years of marriage. I'm kidding you. I'm sure you guys are very happy. So Bobby Searson, good morning. Ron Siegel said, today is National Iced Tea Day. So our question of the day, first of all, do you drink tea? I do. I drink a lot of tea. I like unsweet tea. And being in the South, you definitely, sometimes I order unsweet and I get sweet anyway, because they just don't even recognize unsweet. From the North, they don't have sweet tea. A lot of places when you go, they'll give you sweetener to add to the tea, but it's not the same thing. So I'm an unsweet tea kind of guy myself. Yasmin, good morning. Angela, good morning. Brandy, good morning. Michael Love, he's got the right idea. He said Long Island iced tea. Yes, top shelf Long Island iced tea. That's actually one of the drinks I do enjoy. Good morning, Kim Mason. Tim Klyla is a straight up kind of guy. Brandy Brickler, also an unsweet tea kind of gal. Good morning, Mallory. Kim Mason is going with sweet tea. Yasmin also going with the unsweet. That gives us an advantage now, 3-1. Megan's looking for the half and half. I don't want to add sweetener after it's brewed. Yeah, I had a friend that used to always be like, can I have an unsweet tea with a pinch of sweet tea? Morning, Rob Stewart. Mallory is looking for sweet tea, but we'll settle for an Arnold Palmer. There you go. Very similar with a little half lemonade, half unsweet tea. Rob Stewart, also an unsweet tea kind of guy. So put your answer in the comments. Let me know, are you a sweet tea or an unsweet tea kind of person? As today is the, National Iced Tea Day. All right. So now that we've said hi to everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at the technicals and see what we got going on this morning. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way for a minute. Can I get to this here? There it is. Okay. All right. So right now, mortgage-backed securities down 4 basis points to start the day. Nothing that we have to really panic about by any means. If you take a look here, and hold on, let me just move it so I can stop that box from coming up. No, I don't need stupid Siri. There we go. Okay. All right. So take a look here. Last week we had quite the run-up. Hold on.
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
Okay, Siri. All right. Last week, we had quite the run up in mortgage-backed securities, which really helped mortgage pricing improve quite a bit. We pushed all the way down, just touching on that 7% mark, jumped up about an eighth on Friday after the jobs data. Not what we wanted to see by any means. What's a little bit kooky is ending the week before. We actually ended slightly better than the week before, but it still felt like a big loss because we had picked up so many gains heading into the week. And that's why the lock advice had been lock anything closing near term or risk averse. But we were hoping to see a much better reaction. Hold on, I'll get this back up. A much better reaction to the jobs data. Look at this big dip after the jobs data. Now, just a quick recap, Friday's jobs data. The number of jobs created came in suspiciously high yet again. 180,000 jobs expected to have been created. We came in at 272,000 jobs. Yet the unemployment number came in higher. So, and that we talked about that. The reason that you could justify that is they're two separate surveys. One's a business survey or establishment survey. The other is the household survey. Wages also came in, pretty hot, which can be argued is part of it. So this week we can see mortgage bonds did stop at the 25-day moving average. I normally don't give the 25-day moving average too much for technical support or resistance. It did give us a little bit of a stopping point. This morning we're down a hair, down about 5 basis points on the day. Again, but none of this is going to matter because this week we've got a lot going on Wednesday. So we'll talk more about that in a second. Let's go ahead and take a look here. 10-year Treasury yield. Let me make this small. There you go. 10-year Treasury yield, 4.46. Very similar scenario happening here. I got to do this so that it doesn't bring up that box. Okay. Very similar scenario here. You'll notice that we had a big dip in the yield, green candlesticks galore, really down nicely, and then poop in the day on Friday, quite a bit higher. We actually had been down as low as 4.29. 4.27 there, and then we ended the day at 0.44. No fun with that. And you can see the exact reaction here with the jobs data. So going into, you can see that we actually improved through the week. And then on Thursday, it was just a settled in number. And then Friday, we got that jobs data. The bonds fell off a cliff. All of the buildup that we have in bonds, basically preparing for the Fed to cut rates, disappeared. And that's what we saw happen. So we had that on Friday. And then things did kind of continue to worsen as the day went on Friday. They just kind of crept a little lower. Reprices worse weren't really a thing. But we didn't see any improvement. We didn't see any rebound, which would have been really nice. And I'll tell you, I'm a little frustrated that we didn't see a better reaction and a better rebound, because when you dig into the data, you could see there are so many other reports out there that show job and labor market weakness and what the JOLTS numbers came in and everything else. Everybody keeps saying that the labor market data just feels like it has been manipulated. And I mean, I'm not going to throw aluminum foil hat on my head. Why do we still say tin? It's been like 80 years. We don't use tin. I'm not going to throw an aluminum foil hat on my head, but it does feel like these numbers definitely don't jive. So keep that in mind. I'm looking at the rest of your comments, by the way. Nicole is an unsweet tea. Rob Stewart, we talked about, was unsweet. Good morning, Alexandria. Ron said, I was in Boston several years back, and they said iced tea is a seasonal drink, so they don't have it in winter. I asked for hot tea with ice, and they didn't understand. Yeah, I know, right? It's funny. Rock, morning. Cindy Pulliam, good morning. Ernetta, hey, great to see you. And Ernetta is a sweet tea girl. Ernetta, are you from the South? You must be from the South. If you said, of course, sweet tea, of course. Good morning, Deb Dickinson. So, all right. So anyway, this week, what do we got going on? Today, nothing. It's going to be a quiet day. Rate sheet's going to be very much like how they come out this morning, probably very similar to what we saw on Friday. Not likely to be too much worse. They were probably pretty conservative on Friday. So, but we could see a little bit worse. But really, we're cautiously floating everything right now. There's no reason that you want to be locking anything, because we want to wait and see what the inflation data brings on Wednesday morning and what the Fed meeting brings on Wednesday afternoon. Also, the Fed meeting is going to be the afterthought, the actual meeting itself, but it is going to have the dot plot. So every quarter, we get the Fed forecasts for where rates are going to be at the end of 24, 25, 26. So we will see that. We'll see some reaction to that on Wednesday. But it's going to be the press conference. Now, again, this is going to be like a 1-2 punch. Wednesday is going to be a crazy day. I know we don't love the rates that we have today, but they're certainly not the worst rates that we've ever had. So keep that in mind when it comes this morning to, whether you want to lock or float going into the meeting. we did still at about 7 1/8. We're still a little bit better than where we were at the end of May, right? About 1/8 of a point better than where we were at the end of May. But there's a good chance that, now what seemed like almost destined to improve might go the other way. So right now we're looking at expectations of where the Fed will be. That's everything that's happening this week really boils down to when will the Fed start to cut rates and what's going on with the economy. There's no expectation at all that we will see a Fed rate cut at this June 12th meeting. The meeting in 2 days starts tomorrow, ends on the 12th, right? So we're at 5 1/4. We're going to get a new dot plot chart we talked about, where right now the expectation was still that we were going to see 3 rate cuts for 2024. If this gets a little bit worse and we only expect to see 2 rate cuts, that's going to be a little bit of a blow to mortgage rates. But right now, markets are really not pricing in. If we take a look, markets aren't pricing in all that much either. As it comes to the end of the year, there's almost a 40% expectation for 1 rate cut and a 36 expectation for 2 rate cuts. Only about a 10% expectation, 11% actually, that we will see 3 rate cuts. So if the dot plot were to reflect 2 cuts instead of 3, market's basically already pricing that in anyway. If the Fed were to continue to price in 3 rate cuts, which seems like it feels a little bit unlikely that the Fed would actually be that. Here we go. We want this. It seems unlikely the Fed would be that dovish. But if we did, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see more of these dots here push up into the 4 3/4 to 5% range, and that will be the leading indicator. So it probably isn't going to be all that great. Again, it's just one more head fake where we thought we were getting to a point where rates would start to improve, and then now they won't. So we'll see where these expectations change. And then, of course, the press conference. If the CPI inflation data doesn't come in better than expected, or showing inflation continues to progress and getting the fight against inflation really continues to progress, getting better, then we're going to see more of a slide as markets price in 1 cut again, which we saw before. And that brought rates up higher, which is where when we were up around 7 1/2, that was when we saw 1 rate cut expectation. So this week's going to be an important week when it comes to where all that data comes in and where we are. So Deb Dickinson said, unsweet with a lemon slice. Ernetta, you are from Georgia. That's what I figured. Ron said, without your hat, you look like a doppelganger for Steve Sims. If you don't know him, look him up. You would like him. All right, I'll look him up. So, yeah, I look like a musclehead. No, I'm just kidding. All right, y'all. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. That is what we're looking at, though. As far as locking and floating, we want to definitely be cautiously floating for now. Let's see where things go. We need to see what's going to happen. We need to see what's going to happen with all of the. Come on, I'm trying to switch there it goes. Okay, so we want to cautiously float. Anything that's got 30 plus days, we still want to float. Even if we don't get as great of a reaction as we want here, if it's 30 days out, we'll see it start to pull back in. But if it's risk averse, all bets are off. If people like where they're at and they want to just lock them and close them, then do that. That's what risk averse is. Last week we talked about locking loans closing before the near term, just in case we got the negative reaction in the jobs data, which we didn't think would happen. Again, why did we not think we'd get the negative reaction to jobs data? Because all the other jobs data out there, when you dig deeper, shows the labor market is softening. The economy is weakening. People are starting to get to the end of their rope. The credit card debt is soaring. The number of lates and people that are defaulting is increasing. Used car market softening. New car market already softened. There's a lot of reasons to think we're going to continue to see the economy slow down. But rates just refuse to drop. The Fed refuses. I think the Fed needs to see something more traumatic, not dramatic, traumatic in the labor market. They want to see unemployment continue to rise, to know that inflation is going to go down. And I think that's where we're at. So there you are, my friends. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. I will see you guys tomorrow. It might be a little ugly. The video might get pixelated. I'm going to be from the road. Again, I'm in Pittsburgh today, and then tomorrow is a travel day. We go back to North Carolina. And then is anyone going to the EPM Tag event in Atlanta? Speaking of Georgia there, Ernetta, are you going? Are you anyone going to EPM Tag? Originator Success is a sponsor of Tag again this year, and I will be there for the event down in Atlanta Wednesday and leaving Saturday. So, of course, I'll be coming to you from there. All right, my friends, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a fantastic one. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.